Hey everybody, welcome to Who Gives a Shit, the podcast that asks the most important question.
Who gives a shit?
So today we got a guest. Captain Blackbread is back, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty great. I feel like between the last time I was on and now, I've had a lot of shit happen. Like I've been going out and I've been doing shit. I've been hiking, and there was a chick with a forked tongue. That was pretty interesting.
Yeah, and most importantly, you learn not to drive for pussy.
Yes, I've learned not to drive for pussy.
Well, hey, it's lesson people got to learn sometime, right? Well, I mean, it's the value of your time, right?
Yeah.
So, man, it's actually, it's been like 3 months or something like that since you were last on? Longer than that even, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm in a new house now. That's interesting, and I finally got a decent car, and things are starting to look up, you know?
Awesome. Well, that's fucking.
Yeah.
Well, what about you, CJ, man? How have you been doing this week?
No, I'm doing good. I've decided to drop the math classes and just focus on my marketing classes, and more importantly, gambling. I'm gonna get back into gambling. I'm actually gonna crunch the numbers this time. I bought some betting size software and some pre-flop strategy software, and I've been playing a lot of simulations and just running through a lot of different scenarios, and I'm starting to feel confident in my game again. So that's
nice. Finally taking my advice. If you remember when I was on chimping out with Isaac Jackson, I was like, man, when are you going to get serious about this?
Oh, yeah. I realized, man, like I could not give less of a shit about this accounting and basically all these fluff classes, as I like to call them, because you know that you're not going to use it in the field. You don't need statistical data analysis for marketing. You're a con man. It's not that hard to get poor people to buy shit and spend their money improperly. The reason that they're poor is because they don't know how to spend their money. So poor people at the core are very easy to market to. So the idea that you need to be like some super Jew accountant to succeed in the field is just, it's a conspiracy in itself, because colleges like to tack on all these extra classes so they can get as much money out of you as possible.
What? It's not because you need to have a well-rounded education. They're just trying to bilk money out of you. I never. God, dude, I've been so pissed lately because I'm on like the lowest supervision that you can have for being on parole, and it's pretty easy. All I gotta do now, because of the pandemic, I call in once every 3 months and just be like, yes, I still have a job, and yes, I'm still alive, and I haven't shot my mother-in-law, or what the fuck ever. That, like, it's real simple stuff, and so long as you stay up on your fees and shit, then it's no problem. But for my last PO, just for whatever reason, scheduled the visit on Labor Day, and they're not open on Labor Day. So I've been scrambling, trying to call these people and try to figure something out, and I've just been getting nothing all freaking day. And I've had literal nightmares about like missing my like scheduled meetings and shit, because if you do that, a warrant goes out for your arrest, and it's a fucking problem.
Oh,
and like,
shit, dude.
Yeah, dude. Like, so this whole day, like my whole day has been fucked because I've just been riddled with anxiety, going like, am I going to have to go get like my emergency funds and go on the run? What the fuck is this shit? And like, I know that it's really not that big a deal, but it's not like I can really talk myself out of the fucking anxiety of having to deal with this shit. And thankfully, towards the end of the day, I finally got a text back from whoever my PO is this month, because I'm such a low risk, they just roll me over to whoever the hell has the biggest caseload. So I don't have any rapport with any of these people. They all vaguely have seen me before. finally got a message back on like, yeah, we can do it tomorrow. And so, but that didn't stop me from just like feeling like shit for fucking 5 hours. That really fucking pissed me off. It never ceases to amaze me how freaking incompetent government employees can be.
Well, I have a lot of experience with it myself, but I can only imagine how amplified your frustrations are when going to jail could be the consequence for a misscheduled meeting.
Yeah, that's a hard thing to explain to people too. Fuck. But we got a couple of announcements. The things that we want to talk about. So we accomplished one of our major goals. CJ is the highest paid retard on Patreon right now. Like, our Patreon, most of it goes to CJ. I'm pretty economically sound, so it goes back into the podcast and mostly to CJ. And but now that CJ is the highest paid crippled retard on Patreon, we need another goal. We need to figure something out. So here is what we got going on. If we get our Patreon up to $200 a month, that's our goal. When we get it up to 200, we'll do a once a month like special episode. We have a new special episode out right now that I did with Rabbit. It's on the Patreon, patreon.com/WGA shit show. It's free to everyone. Go listen to it. So whenever we hit 200,
free, and it's absolutely great. Rabbit is, if not funnier than me, he's always equally as funny as I am. I think he's funnier than me in a lot of occasions, so it's a very entertaining show. You guys should listen to it. Absolutely free.
But by all means, check it out. And so these special episodes, though, it was like tackling the backlog. We kind of did some rapid fire issues. The format wasn't near as important as being funny. So, we would be able to do this and kind of invite in some more people in the community to shoot the shit with and then do that once a month. So whenever we hit $200 a month, we're going to start doing that and having another free episode that's on the Patreon for anyone to go and watch.
Man, it feels good to make more money than Stuttering John. Howard, if you're listening, you probably are. But if you want a funny retard on your show, like a step in for Beetlejuice when he's not available, I'm your guy.
All right, so I'm a little out of the loop on that. Who is Stuttering John?
Whoa. Stuttering John is quite possibly the biggest fall from grace that has ever occurred on the internet. Now, if you want a more in-depth analysis, I would recommend that everybody listen to Carl from WATP, because he has this shit dissected minute by minute, but he went from being on the most listened to radio show in America to getting paid millions of dollars to poorly announce the Tonight Show with Jay Leno, to now making $5 at a time in super chats on YouTube. And it's great to make fun of this guy because he is in no way humble about the whole thing, and he still calls himself a comedian, and he thinks his niggerless cage joke is the Mona Lisa of comedy. And it's just really funny to swag on the guy. And I'm glad that I, nobody, crippled retard, make more money than a guy that was on the Howard Stern show. It feels good.
Alrighty. Cool, I'll have to check that out later.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely worth it. Carl is relentless on Stuttering John because it's Howard Stern back in the day. I mean, I was around when he was larger than life. He was everywhere. And to see someone that was at the top of their game, I mean, literally the pinnacle of radio, just fall like that, it's he never got the joke. He's like the Maddox of the Howard Stern show. It's fucking weird.
That's a great comparison, I think.
Yeah. And well, let's go ahead and get into the show. So, CJ, you got 2 this week. So why don't you go ahead and start us off?
I will start us off with, this is not a story from a news outlet, so we're not going to play Guess the Outlet. This is directly from the rapper Little Nas X. It's directly from his Twitter feed. Now, if you don't know who that guy is, you're in the majority. He's the guy that did the Old Town Road song. And he's doing a publicity stunt where he pretends to be pregnant. And there's a photo of him, like, by a pool, and there's, like, an outdoor pool set up. And he got flowers on his head, and he kind of had, like, a Mother Mary vibe going on with the white robe and shit that he's wearing. And there's a spectrum of people who give a shit about this. But I want to start with everyone's favorite woke grifter black man, Tariq Nasheed, who simply just retweeted this photo with the caption of buckbreakingmovie.com.
Oh my god. I love Tariq Nasheed because of the buck breaking movie, dude. Like, that was the I still fucking chuckle about that shit from time to time, and we'll try to randomly think up how the white man is making the black man gay.
Oh yeah, dude, I had no idea about the beams that we were lasering in on the black man's mind, putting all those gay thoughts into their head. I'm glad Tariq could educate me on that matter. But that tweet alone was funny enough for me to bring the story in. And then, as I dove in deeper, there's another side who gives a shit about this. And that is the Alphabet group. The Alphabet gang. The
What?
LGBT2+, AAQ, whatever. That whole acronym. And apparently,
the Alphabet
there was
people.
apparently there's a new letter in the Alphabet people. And it's called M. The letter is M. Adam, do you want to take a guess what M stands for?
Mothers?
No. It's not mothers. It is obviously man preggers. Now, I know that's what we were all thinking. Of course it would be man preggers. But apparently there's a group of men who think that they can carry a baby, and they pretend that they can. And they do this by either getting cosmetic surgery done to their stomach. A couple of the richer ones have done that. Or they'll just, like, put a balloon or a cantaloupe up a tank top and say that they're pregnant and they're carrying, in quotes. And this just blew me away with how retarded this shit is. But apparently Little Nas X is a hero to the M. Preggers community. So
There's a community of these people? What am I saying? Of course there's a fucking community of these people. And all they do is sit around watching Junior from the 90s with Arnold Schwarzenegger on repeat.
Yeah, and Freaks and Geeks are that's their favorite TV show. And, you know, I guess pregnancy can be of any gender now. It's that wacky in the world.
And it doesn't even have to be a fucking baby, apparently. They just do that shit that we all did when we were kids. You know, shove a fucking balloon in your shirt. Maybe two of them. Hey, look, you got tits. But that doesn't make them fucking real. Like, you could just be pregnant with what? A fucking couch cushion?
You know that prank that you did with your friends when you were 8 years old? Well, that's a real sexuality now. And if you laugh at it, you're a bigot.
I mean, the closest I've gotten to be able to identify with these people is I have taken a dump big enough to have postpartum depression, but that's about it. Fuck. This is okay. This is fucking weird, CJ. You really hit me out of left field, and I was not expecting this shit.
Well, and this is what's crazy is nobody should give a shit. Like, even Little Nas X was like, I'm not identifying as a man preggers or whatever. It's literally just a stunt to promote his album. And props to him for being a genius, because he's got all kinds of people talking about this album that's probably gonna suck. So good on him for that.
See, I thought you were going to be talking about the religious moral outrage, because he made that music video where he gave like Satan a lap dance. And he had the like sneaker promotion that came with it that had like a drop of blood that was like Satan sneakers or something. And it was weird seeing the religious killjoys come out of the woodworks to be a bunch of little bitches about this shit. So I thought he was going to try to continue down that vein, and that's who was really freaking out. I wasn't expecting the man preggers thing. That's fucking weird. They should have at least enough decency to know that they're fucking weirdos and to keep it like in their own little community and not be shouting at the top of their lungs about it like this shit is normal, because it's not.
Yeah. Well, immediately when I saw this, I'm like, oh, I expect Tariq Nasheed to have a problem with this. But there's no way the gay people are going to be in support of this. They're just going to be like, all right, Little Nas is trolling. He's having fun. He's promoting an album. Sure enough, there's a community of men who thinks that they're pregnant. Sure enough, that is a real thing in today's age. So that really surprised the fuck out of me. And I'm sure everyone else listening is just gonna do a spit take when they first hear this. But again, like most things we bring into the show, the proper reaction to have to this is it's an album ad for a pop rap album. Who gives a shit? You should not have your panties in a rustle over an album cover. You're all stupid for caring about this even a little bit.
Yeah, that's fucking weird. I mean, I've been hanging around a lot of people that are into some fucking weird ass shit lately, but they know it's weird ass shit, and they don't, and they keep it like compartmentalized because they don't want it like spilling over into their normal life, because these people live normal lives outside of their weird kinky shit. And that there's like a community specifically for this is, man, I'm gonna have to go fucking Google this shit just to, like, it's I don't want to believe you. That's the problem, is that I don't want to believe you, but I searched my feelings and I know it to be true, CJ. Jesus.
Well, it blew me out of the water, but I still don't give a shit about it, and I'm not on any team on this side of the debate. I just think both sides are retarded, as per usual.
Definitely.
But yeah, that's story number one today.
All right, so let's get into you, Captain Blackbread, man. What you got for us this week?
Alrighty, well, this one also doesn't have a source. I'm just kind of like sick and tired of people pretending to fucking care about the Taliban takeover in Kabul. Now, I get it. When it first happened, it was like, holy shit, that happened. But then it just kind of went on, and it's still a fucking leading story in at least the news that I listen to. They won't, and that's a right leaning source. Fuck it, it's the Daily Wire. So I listen to the Daily Wire, right? Just because I tend to get more actual news out of that than just talking shit about Donald Trump and like sucking Joe Biden's dick. Seems to be less of that there, oddly enough. But they're still pretending to care about this shit, and there hasn't been any real news there since it started. Now here's what we do have, though. What the news has been: Taliban takes over. Joe Biden doesn't apologize for it and blames Donald Trump. Left-leaning media believes it. They got our shit. It's fucked. Fuck it. Leave it. Stop pretending to care. It's done. There's not going to be any more news there unless we send in troops or they blow themselves up or somebody else.
Well, they might be freaking out over like, oh, there might be some women that get brutalized or something like that, and they'll feign to care about that.
Yeah, but that's happening in Africa too. I mean, if you guys remember back to old biggest problem, female genital mutilation.
Yeah. No, man, I could. So the way that I mean, you're right. They really don't care, and the only reason they care at all is just to try to dunk on Biden. That's literally it. Like,
Well, also, Ben Shapiro was a war hawk of sorts, so he might be taking it from that.
Oh yeah.
Like, we need to be blowing up the brown people, or we're not American, because we need the economy. And I got stuck in the Halliburton. You know what? So we definitely need to be going to war for no reason.
Yeah, just to correct myself from earlier, I meant if I didn't say morning wire, I meant to, because it's really quick and it's like, oh, here's this is what's happening, but it's been just fucking littered with Taliban does this, and when I go online, it's like now they have our helicopters and they're teaching our dogs to fight for them.
I don't give a shit about the Taliban. As soon as we were getting out, I'm like, oh, great. Awesome. We're Gonskis. And it was a botched job getting out of there. I don't know how they would have done it right, particularly. I don't know how they would have. It doesn't seem like there is a way to get the fuck out of there without something turning to complete shit.
The only way to do it right is if it was done 10 years ago. That would be doing it correctly, but we've been in that shithole for so long, just wasting money, pumping money into it like it's a gold digger. It's about time we got out of there, really.
Yeah, the best thing that happened out of all that was the Taliban getting killed by Ligma. Like, that shit was fucking funny. But other than that, I'm like, whatever. And when they were talking about like these dogs that were found, I'm like, oh god, this just sounds like a bunch of scammers trying to start a GoFundMe to get free money. And it's not like the military hardware that we left over there this isn't some AK-47 that you can put 100,000 rounds through and still have it fire, even though it's all burnt out. Like, this is all shit that requires constant maintenance. It's made by people that are constantly bilking the government for money. Like, this shit is going to turn to shit super quick without the support for it. And some of my friends were talking about how, like, they're like, oh, they sold this stuff to China so they can, reverse engineer it, as if they didn't already have all this shit already reverse engineered. Like, it is really dumb, like, universally. And I really wish that we would just move the fuck on.
Well, there is one good thing to come out of this, and that's that the Taliban is on the Women's Rights Tribunal of the United Nations. I'm sure that's going to go swimmingly. And you know what? I trust the boys and the burkas to keep women's rights in Afghanistan, and I know they will. I know they'll keep them in line.
In line for a firing squad.
Maybe. I mean, it's
anything
not like
that keeps them off Instagram is fine by me.
Yeah. Well, so what would you like to see from like the Morning Wire again? Are they just like stuck on stupid with the whole Taliban shit, or like
it's been this way for weeks? It feels like, and because they're a daily show, it just feels like it's been so much longer. I'm like, okay, what's going on with? I'm mostly wanting to know stuff like COVID policies and anything else that's going on at this point. But it's just a shit ton of Taliban. One of the episodes was like Taliban this, and then something else, and then it was more Taliban shit. I'm like, son of a bitch! Like, this whole episode is garbage. I don't even want to listen to it. I've skipped like the last 3 episodes because of that.
Damn. Like, yeah, I can feel you on that. I mean, do you think it's their own like bias coming through about like wanting to talk about this, or do you think that they just legitimately don't want to talk about other things?
It's obviously just been a slow fucking news time. We'll call it that, It's just slow. and they need to talk about something. So they'll just find another thing that the Taliban found and now have control over. And that's
Let me
the
get
biggest news.
real tinfoil hat brain with you guys on this. My theory of why everyone is pretending to care about Afghanistan is because it is shit here in America. Like, the conditions that people have to go through because of all these COVID guidelines and all this nonsense. It's just ridiculous what they're doing to these people. And I think the presence of Afghanistan in the news is meant to be there on purpose, so it distracts us from realizing how bad our situation is.
That's probably exactly what's going on.
Yeah, heaven forbid they report on the semiconductor shortages or, like the price gouging that's happened because of disrupted supply chains, or people like getting screwed over in labor forces on account that there's like a real dichotomy between people that really, really want to work and people that really, really don't want to work. Like there's a million things to talk about that are incredibly relevant, and they just stuck on the Taliban.
Yeah.
I mean, what about the fucking, people, there's so much shit that's actually happening that I think is incredibly relevant. I mean, that is fucking annoying.
It's almost like the power that be don't want us to know that they have the power at them. So they're constantly just shoving shit that doesn't matter down our throats so we can be distracted all the time.
Yeah. I mean, it really feels that way sometimes. And there's a lot of things about it that are just suspicious to say regardless. So now, who gives a shit about the Taliban? I don't. As soon as they got hit with these nuts, I was like, what a great way to send them off. Later, skater. You can go fucking do your shit however the fuck you want. Let me know whenever y'all start fighting China or something. Like, other than that, I'm like, I don't care. Whatever the fuck. I haven't cared in a long, long time.
Isn't China supposed to be helping them out now or some shit?
Why? But why would they like each other?
I have no idea.
The Taliban thought that opium was a pollutant to the body. The Chinese think that religion's the opiate of the masses, and like there's a lot of things that they don't agree with between one another, because you're dealing with some weird fucking thing where communism is their religion versus religious zealots, and the only thing that really ties them, there was a huge mineral finding out there that America subcontracted out to like the Chinese miners, but because of the way the prospecting laws work, America basically already got to get its little slice out of the thing. So why would we want to sit there and pay for the overhead to protect this shit when we can get China to do it? Or make them have to deal with the Taliban and their weird kid diddling ways. Huh. Man, it is so fucked. And God, it does get me a little riled up just even talking about it, because it's just fucking annoying.
Well, in other news, I'm now being followed by Goose Wayne Bateman. I don't think that's
Goose Wayne is following you?
But it says Goose Wayne Bateman, and I was like, that doesn't seem like it's the real one. I went and looked it up, and there's two of them, so which one's the real one? Maybe he forgot his fucking shit.
Goose Wayne Bateman is when he's actually always wearing his cowl, and whenever
no. Alter egos.
Oh yeah.
Listen, before we get into another story here, an invite to Goose Wayne. If you ever want to come on the show, you're more than welcome, buddy. Your fucking Dr. Phil appearances are hilarious, dude. So
his call into the Dick Show was fucking great too. Like, he's funny, dude. I like it.
I'm subscribed.
Well, so we're doing things a tiny bit differently in this episode. So we got some viewer feedback that just made too much damn sense. And that was that we used to do To Catch a Redditor in the middle of the episode. And so we do some To Catch Redditors about things we hadn't talked about yet. So instead, we're doing it a little differently. We're doing the voicemails in the middle of the episode, and we'll do To Catch a Redditor on the end. So let's do our first voicemail of the week once I tell you the number to call. So by all means, give us a call at 281-747-6015 and tell us who gives a shit.
I guess now I have to call in to defend myself from these dipshit voicemails and prove that I am the better Eric. I'm going to take the stroke because I know you guys don't get nuance. I can be a fan of all of those shows, which I am. I can be a proponent of vaccines, which I am. And I can be against government mandates of vaccines, which I am. I'm recommending the vaccine. I want you guys to get the vaccine. I want you to choose to get the vaccine for the same reason I want my patients to choose to quit smoking or choose to do 150 minutes of exercise a week. Really not that hard. You'd be surprised how dumb people are. All right, go get fucked. Great show, you two, but CJ, you're still a retard.
Hey, mister, I'm not the one telling people to quit smoking cigarettes. That sounds pretty retarded to me. So, I would never tell people to quit smoking.
Yeah, I wouldn't tell him to quit smoking, although I do appreciate his take on the vaccine thing, is that he can still respect people's like freedom to choose and still like want it, like still want people to get it. Like that is totally fine. Like that's great.
Well, I
wish more
think
people
what the
felt that way.
other Eric, I think what the other Eric was getting at with that last voicemail is that a lot of people that hold his opinion do not respect people's right to not get it. So I think he was coming from that angle.
You know what? He won me over. I think he's the better Eric now.
What? Better than Eric from South Dakota? Come on, dude. He's put in the best voicemail of all time. I mean, it.
Hold on. Let me slow your roll for a second. That setup didn't go as I planned. I was hoping someone was going to say really, so I could say no. Fucking
oh,
you diddly done fucked it up.
Got him!
Sometimes jokes fall flat, but Eric from North Dakota is definitely the better Eric. But thank you, other Eric, for calling in still.
Well, other Eric has to continue. So, really, I like I said, I still appreciate this guy's take, but he continues.
I got to call back in a second goddamn time. No vaccine is AIDS in a shot form, you fucking idiot. They're not neutering your immune system. It's boosting your immune system. And the third dose is basically only for geriatric people, which kind of makes sense. That's why we give them 4 times the dose for the flu shot. Basically, their immune systems don't work already because they're old as shit. And usually on a ton of drugs that make their immune systems also not work. So go get fucked. You're actually a retard.
Well, in that one, he's 100% right. Like, that, he's just factually true. Like, that is, yeah. Yeah.
Either way, Adam, I'm definitely 100% vaccinated, so I have nothing to worry about, bud. I don't know about you.
Well, I mean, can your wheelchair get COVID? I don't think so.
It's a super spreader surface. COVID on wheels.
Oh, yeah, I forget. You went to that super spreader event, but you're 100% vaccinated, so everything is all good.
Yeah, it is, for sure, buddy.
All right. Well, let's get into what I'm bringing in this week. So this is, I had to really dig for this one because it did not sound real. I had to make sure I wasn't reading like r/not the onion. So let's play our favorite game, Guess the Outlet. So here is the headline. San Francisco will pay would-be criminals to not shoot people. Okay, so who do you think wrote that?
Is it New York Post?
Yes. Yes, it actually is the New York Post. Now that's like impossible.
Guy. Let's go, New York Post.
Yeah, that's like impossible to guess because, like, when I looked this story up in all other places, every story was almost the exact same headline except for like one or two words different. Yeah, man, let me tell you, you play roulette enough, you're eventually going to see 00 shit. So this story is fucking insane. So first off, San Francisco can't do anything fucking right to begin with, and they are going to pay people, like high risk people that are like at risk for reoffending with gun violence. They're going to pay them $300 a month and an extra $200 a month if they meet certain benchmarks. And they got money for 75 people a year. And this is part of an initiative for, it was $120 million invested in the city's black community. That's where this money is coming from.
Whoa, are they saying
they're happy about that?
Hang on a minute, Adam. This doesn't sound very politically correct here. Are they saying that
no, it doesn't, does it?
Are they saying that one race of people are inclined to commit violent crimes? That's what it sounds like to me.
Well, all races are inclined to commit violent crimes, but I guess San Francisco is only really willing to pay one type to not shoot people.
No.
And that is so fucked.
Yeah,
like,
what the hell? I thought they'd be paying all the cops that are just like kicking in black people faces into the curbs and shit like that. Like, wouldn't they be paying them not to be violent? Like, cause that's the narrative, right?
Dude, that would actually be kind of nice if they had like a "you didn't shoot people this month" bonus for cops. Yeah, congratulations for not murdering someone unarmed.
Yeah, I think it's the opposite is how it works. I think you get a bonus if you murder an unarmed black teenager.
And a paid vacation. But, I mean, okay, this story gets even dumber. Okay, so this was based off of an initiative that happened in Richmond, California in 2016. They were having a huge gun violence problem out there, and it's not a very big place. And they had managed to narrow it down to 15 guys that were responsible for half of the gun crime in Richmond, California. And they decided that they were going to pay them to not shoot people. And already this doesn't make any fucking sense, but oddly enough, it actually kind of worked. Half of those guys decided they were just not going to shoot people, and then they also got like social work tied to it, and they got some job training, and they helped them find a job. So like it kind of makes sense that it actually like worked in a way. Although I don't know why you can't just, like, if they're constantly shooting people, why can't you just lock them up and keep them locked up? Like, I shot someone and I went down for like the better part of a decade over that. They gave me 14 years over that shit. How are you not able to throw the book at these people?
Now, when I hear about this system, this to me seems so easy to work around, because if there's anyone in the world who wants to do their job the least, it's a government-paid social worker. So couldn't you just lie and say, hey, I didn't shoot anyone today? Like, how would they know?
Wow, it's almost like you pointed out something absolutely retarded about this program, CJ. And also I see this and I'm like, where's my fucking money? What the fuck? I've actually shot someone and they're not paying me off to not shoot people. Like,
you got to be a little bit more high risk. See, you got to like fucking just maybe don't carry a gun around with you. Just carry like bullets and be like, you know, I could use these on you, but I'm not going to. But make sure you do it right to your parole officer.
Oh my God.
And then you're high risk, and then they'll pay you not to shoot people. But more than likely, actually, because you're not black, they're just going to send you back to jail for being white and even daring.
Well, actually, just handling a bullet as a convicted felon is a 10-year federal offense.
You're shitting me. No way. Really?
No, I shit you not. I can't be in control of a gun. I can't be like around a gun. I can't have a bullet in my possession. Yeah, that's 10 years fed.
What is
Wow.
considered a bullet? Like, what if you had like a fucking not even
Anything
a
that has
musket ball, just like a you pick up like a fucking pebble and you could fire that out of like a fucking airsoft gun? Is that a bullet?
No, anything that is a manufactured cartridge. So, like a 22 long rifle, even though it doesn't have a primer, a centerfire primer, still a bullet. Like that's 10 years fed.
What if you make it
And
yourself?
anything that has a because it can be fired out of like a pre-established firearm. Yes. Now, where it changes and where Texas is kind of based is cap and ball guns are not considered firearms. So I'm still allowed to have a cap and ball gun. I can also have a cannon, a bow and arrow, a flamethrower, a bulletproof shield. There's a lot of shit that I could own. But they just got a really big problem with firearms. So, like, I don't know why you would need to pay these people to not shoot people because the price of failure is fucking steep. Like, they don't fuck around with this shit. Like, they really, really don't.
I don't give a shit about this. I just think that the government got together and thought, oh, this is a great way to spend $120 million. And I'm a retard, and I just deconstructed your whole system in about 20 seconds because this is all built upon the idea that in order for this to work, government workers have to care about their job. And then it's just never a reality ever anywhere. So,
You could also kind of look at that as sort of like welfare in a way.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're just set for life. If you just try and get the lowest thing possible, and then you just you're paid for life.
and listen, if you're one of these 15 people out here that cause 50% of the crime in this county, good on you, man. If anyone can hold the government, I want as much people to hold the federal government as they possibly can allow. So if you're one of these people taking advantage of this retarded system, I salute you, sir.
They're working real hard not to just be like,
And, when we ask the question, who gives a shit, this really no one should, because and anyone that does is pretty dumb, and a lot of people are pretty disenchanted with retarded California politics because that's all you see. So you see something like this, it's a little shocking, and then you think about it for just a second and you're like, yeah, this is fucking typical, whatever, fuck it, and then move on.
A headline could just as easily be, man does not shoot man, gets $300.
Yeah, that is applicable. Shit. Well, fuck. That's really all I got to say about these people getting paid to not shoot people. Really, I brought this in because I'm fucking mad. I want free money. Fuck. So, CJ, what you got to send this out on, man?
The final topic. We're gonna start out by playing our favorite guessing game. Guess the news outlet. Now, this is an entertainment publication that I have never brought into the show before. And the headline is, Billy Porter explains why he's playing a genderless fairy godmother in the Cinderella remake. Quote, magic has no gender.
What, like the fucking angel in Dogma, where he just pulled down his pants and there was nothing?
Where do you think this gem of an article is from,
God.
Adam?
God, I'm gonna say Entertainment?
Close, very close. Entertainment Weekly. Now, you might be thinking...
You've never brought in Entertainment Weekly?
No, never. I brought in People once. That was the one entertainment thing that I brought in. Now, you might be thinking, why is this a news article? And the answer for that is, I assume Disney paid Entertainment Weekly to run a piece on this non-conforming gender bravery that is this guy that no one's heard of playing a genderless fairy godmother. Now, the wording of this article is particularly retarded, and that's why I brought it in. It's not just the gender non-conforming bullshit. That's not the only reason I brought it in. Billy Porter describes himself as an open black man, and he quotes himself as saying, quote, I am the first openly black male to play the part of the fairy godmother. Now, Adam, I would say you and I have a diverse group of friends. Do you know closeted black males?
Yeah.
Are there black males out there that are in the closet still?
What, like that bit from Dave Chappelle? Like, that's the... What the fuck are they talking about? Like, okay, so when I was looking through Reddit, I saw this pop up, and I'm like, what? Like, that fucking short-circuited my brain. Like, not only is this thing fucking, like, what? What the fuck are you talking about?
So, if you're asking what is the closeted black male, you're going to ask a lot more questions, because it only gets more confusing from there. When I read this article, I was wondering, wait a minute.
So what is a closeted black male? Someone that doesn't acknowledge their blackness or something? Like, what?
They paint themselves in whiteface and just walk around and, pretend.
Somebody that doesn't pay their child support, but they also don't brag about it in a rap verse. I think that's what a closeted black male is. But it gets more confusing.
Oh, so a black man that doesn't play into black culture? Is that kind of what it is?
I think it might be, because I think what he's saying is that because he's gay, he's kind of white, because black people aren't too fond of the gays. I think that might be his point, but I'm not exactly sure. The other thing that boggles my mind about this story is nobody is mentioning how can you be a fairy godmother and have it be genderless. Now, Billy, what the fuck is his name? It's not Billy Idol. What is his name? Let me get his real name.
Billy Idol?
No, I have heard the argument that like people with penises can be mothers, and as part of like the transgender thing, and that's that's whatever.
Yeah, that's
but
Billy
the genderless.
Billy Porter, that's his name. There we go. Billy Porter says he can call this role the fairy godmother because, and you're right, Adam, because quote, mothers have no gender.
They tend to have some gender, like people that have no gender or are like asexual or something like that, or don't identify like at all, tend to really not be into the fucking. And in actuality, they tend to not fit into the LGBTQ community very well, because a lot of these people can't wrap their mind around that you don't want to fuck something.
Well, also,
so,
Adam, that is just a cope for uggos who cannot fuck. Everyone wants to fuck. There's not a life form out there that doesn't want to fuck. It's just that these people are so fucking just a gray monster blobs, that they cannot fuck. And instead of, improving upon yourself, maybe cutting out the Cheetos and going to the gym, you just find a roundabout way to convince yourself, you know what, I never wanted pussy anyway. That shit is for queers. I mean, it's like but this is just insane, and really no one gives a shit about this. I just brought it in because the guy described himself as a closeted black male, and I think that that's really funny as a concept.
That is kind of funny.
Now, if you were to ask me, I think this is a advertising piece that Disney is paying Entertainment Weekly to run to get buzz about the new reboot that's coming out. Because I don't know if you follow box office numbers like I do, but historically, the live-action Disney princess reboots, they haven't been doing too well in the box office. So I think Disney is trying to gin up some fake controversy. And really, I don't think it's going to work this time because even the wokest of woke Twitter has no idea what closeted black man means.
Yeah, dropped the ball on that one.
Yeah, I gotta
go ahead, Blackbread.
I got a confession to make, guys. I've been holding this in a really long time. Oh geez, getting a little misty-eyed. I'm white.
Are you openly white though?
I wish I could be in this fucking time. You can't be openly white.
Blackbeard.
Well, listen here, you honky ass cracker. You need to be more accepting of genderless godmothers.
Fuck off! I'm going back to the closet.
God, this is so fucking weird. Like, CJ, you bring in some weird shit from time to time, but you really fucking took the cake on this one, man. Like, and the picture of this dude is really strange, and no one should care about these fucking live action remakes. Make something fucking new, and like, I haven't seen any of them, and I'm glad to hear that they're just doing worse and worse and worse because I'm tired of seeing this shit. What are they gonna have? Like the next movie be like from the stepmother's point of view or something like that? Like this bitch deserved to be like just slaved away because she was a freaking hellion when she was a kid or something?
No, I might like that one because I've seen a lot of films on Pornhub from the stepmother point of view, and most of them aren't actually that bad. But
I want to see a movie of just about the racist cats in that movie, man. That'd be great. The Siamese, if you please.
Oh, yeah. I wonder if they're going to be featured in the reboot. Probably not. You know what? The last one I saw, Dumbo, that one sucked because Tim Burton always tries to make everything grim and creepy. And it just kind of ruins the...
He kind of lost his edge, though.
Yeah, it kind of ruins the magic that Gumbo had. But also, there wasn't any jive-talking crows to be seen anywhere. You could have had... This is the age of loud black voice actors. You could have had Kevin Hart, The Rock, Leslie Jones. There's plenty of people that could have voiced these crows. And they're just a normal white voice.
Man, I'd love to see a live-action remake of Fritz the Cat.
Oh, yeah.
Like, if you haven't seen Fritz the Cat... that would be fucking bitching to get remade these days if they actually stuck with the edginess of the times. That would actually be fucking really cool. But, well, do you have anything else you want to say about Cinderella, or do you want to get into our favorite segment of the show?
I think I should just let you guys know before we get into our segment that I am a closeted, crippled man. But I am no more. I'm coming out to you guys as a crippled man on this very podcast right now. And I don't care who hates it.
You should be ashamed of yourself. Get the fuck back in the closet.
All right. Well, let's get into our favorite segment, To Catch a Redditor. So let's do the fucking fairy god. What does Reddit have to say about the fairy godmother?
From r/movies, Emilion77 writes, last year, Porter became the first openly black male to win an Emmy for a leading role. All right. Space Edge's Dom writes, very empowered individual, you cisgendered shit rag.
So this is another one where Reddit got it right. No one could take this shit seriously. Like, even people that want to take it seriously couldn't, because they're like, even if you want to be like woke about it, well, the dude's like bringing some weird racial take that nobody asked for. So yeah, Reddit got it right. So let's see. This is about the Lil Nas X story right here. Let's see what Reddit's got to say.
From r/Lil Nas X. Types like Thunder writes, they aren't disgusted that Lil Nas X is pregnant. They're disgusted that a gay person is proud and out and happy. Hell, if Lil Nas X was with child, they'd battle every court in the country demanding that baby be born, and he financially support it while providing no assistance. Ned Emo writes, my only disappointment is that he didn't call his album Certified Boy Lover.
I half agree with this guy.
Yeah, that guy's right. Reddit ended their one comment streak about being correct. If you think that people give a shit about this because they're mad that Lil Nas X is happy, that is also a bad opinion to have, and you, sir, should not give a shit about it because it is just simply an album cover. That's all it is.
Yeah. And then, of course, they got to suddenly drag in, like, abortion shit into it and not totally have it be a fucking hand grenade that you just threw in a conversation because of this shit. Don't you just love it when people do that?
Well, I certainly hope that Lil Nas X can get his abortion.
Okay. All right. So here's fuck. Okay. Here's the cash
report on that fucker.
Fuck. Okay. Here's one about the Cash for Criminals. Good program.
From r/CA Guns. John Doe 9999 writes, how much to not poop on the sidewalk? I'm not feeling particularly self-restraining this month. A Plump Chicken writes, this is what happens when you let Democrats have complete control. Downvote me all you want, you know it's true. At the time of this posting, it has 76 upvotes and no downvotes. Crapulent Moose writes, the US has been doing the same thing for 20 years in the Middle East, except the payments were a hell of a lot more than $300.
Well, okay. We're back to Reddit retardation again. Fucking all over the damn place. Oh, man. So, randomly talking about the Middle East whenever, like, when we're talking about San Francisco, although not paying about pooping on the sidewalk, yeah, that actually would be a program that I think people there could get behind, because I never stop seeing memes about shit on the sidewalk in San Francisco.
I feel like that's mostly to the benefit of Nancy Pelosi. I can only imagine people are still... That's old shit, though. I don't know if
no pun intended.
Well, yeah. There's a lot of...
I'm not sure she picked it up yet.
There's a lot of old shit that won't be picked up in San Francisco, that's for sure.
Oh, God. Okay, so let's get into one about, like, media bias and media omission.
From r/Change My View. Dr. Strange 2014 writes, do you genuinely not know that CNN is corporate media and is right-wing in terms of its political stance? In the rest of the developed world, U.S. corporate media isn't even being seen as remotely centrist, let alone left-wing. Why are you trolling here? Surrey Pop writes, I really wish the U.S. government would create a department that just tracked the veracity of media. For me, once a media outlet has lost my trust, they never get it back.
Oh, I'm sure they value your trust, one user on Reddit. I'm sure you really matter.
Yeah, I really look
CNN.
I really look to the government for some trustworthy information. Like that is the first place I go, let me tell you. Fuck.
Well, Reddit is as equally as retarded as these stories, it seems.
Yeah, no shit. But you know, that's the majority of the show. So, hey, Captain Blackbread, man, tell everybody about your fucking readings. Because, I have watched a decent amount of your stuff on YouTube. I'll actually fall asleep to it.
Yeah, I get it. You know, there's people that fucking whack off and beat their meat to it sometimes, even though I'm just, you know, I hate to say this, like, no shit. I know that there are like young women subscribed to my channel that are there to listen to that unironically, which is funny because most of the time I'm like, me and my buddies are just fucking cracking jokes about the shit. Older videos, just avoid the older ones, guys. Like, that's when I was like living with my fucking grandparents and shit. I was still in school, and I was, you know, just an awkward fucking kid. So you like it. Everything starts to kick up around Gotham Heat, and anything newer than Gotham Heat, that's where all the good stuff is. And I got a new one coming out. My fucking computer, like, my computer fucking broke, and all I have is the hard drive. So a lot of my older projects are still on there. And now that I fucking wanted to work on, and the computer's fucking broken, like, this is my fiance's laptop I'm borrowing right now for this. But that being said, I put everything on here, and stuff's going to be coming out soon. And trying to remember what the fuck I read recently.
That's Captain Blackbread on YouTube, right?
Yeah, you can find me, Captain Blackbread, and if you can't, you can just search Bloodhound 710. I still should pop up. But yeah, I am gonna have some new shit coming out finally, and it's been a while. Definitely give it a listen. Dead Hands Entertainment is a separate channel where my buddy and I are still trying to figure that out, honestly. But, yeah.
Well, right on. So, be sure to check out like our Patreon at patreon.com/WGA shitshow, and also our Twitter, which is at WGA shitshow. Also, check out the Rich Dickman show. You can go to richdickman.com or patreon.com/richdickman. Also, our friends at the Not for Human Consumption podcast, nfhcpodcast.com has all the stuff, links to like all their Discord and their Patreons and everything. They're a grossly underrated podcast, even though they put a ridiculous amount of production value into what they do. And yeah. CJ, you got anything you need to plug, man? I know on Patreon, you were you hung out with Tony from Hack the Movies.
That's right. It'll be up on Who Gives a Shit Patreon very soon here. Me and Tony did a cross-promotional project in which we talk about some of our favorite movies and the ones that suck. As I put it in the promotion, we talk about the good, the bad, and the movies that put me in a wheelchair. So that'll be out really soon for everyone to listen to. And it was one of the better things that I've done in recent memory. And I had a blast shooting it and meeting Tony for the first time. So I'm looking forward to that dropping. And that's all I got.
Yeah, so if you're a patron of ours, you can actually go and watch it right now. So,
it's on there right now. Fantastic. Well,
yeah.
If you're a patron of ours, you can watch it right now. And if you're not, you should be.
Yeah, don't be ableist.
Patreon.com/WGA shitshow. Go there right now. And
holy shit, you got it right.
I did. Go there right now and let's blow Stuttering John out of the water.
Oh, thank God. Absolutely. I didn't want to blow Stuttering John.
Damn. Well, with that, really, that's all I got for y'all this week. See ya.
Stay horny.
Catch you later.